You are about to discover the most bizarre mansion ever built in America. Stairs that climb into ceilings, doors opening to brick walls. A woman who built for 38 years without stopping. This is the Winchester Mystery House, and the truth is stranger than any ghost story. San Jose, California, 1886. A wealthy widow buys an 8-room farmhouse. Then she does something wild. She hires construction crews and never tells them to stop. For 38 years, hammers pound day and night. The sound of construction becomes as constant as California sunshine. Sarah Winchester inherited a fortune from the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. When her husband William died in 1881, she got $20 million. That is over $600 million in today's money, plus half ownership of the gun company. She was swimming in cash. Sarah did not just expand her house, she exploded it. That farmhouse grew into a 7-story giant with nearly 600 rooms. Hallways twisted like pretzels. One staircase has 44 steps but rises only 9 feet. You could crawl up faster. The whole thing cost $5.5 million. But Sarah made $1,000 per day from her inheritance. That is $24,000 daily in today's money. She could afford any crazy idea that popped into her head. Who was Sarah Winchester? Born in 1839, she spoke 4 languages: Latin, French, Spanish, and Italian. She attended Yale's Women's College and was known as the Belle of New Haven. Smart, beautiful, wealthy. She had everything. Then tragedy struck. In 1866, baby Annie lived only a month. In 1881, William died from tuberculosis. Sarah lost her husband, an only child, drowning in grief with more money than she could spend. The legend says Sarah visited a psychic who told her spirits of Winchester rifle victims were haunting her. The medium said she had to move west, build a house for spirits, and never stop or die. Spooky, right? But modern historians disagree. Sarah was smart with money and ran her own business. Her father was a carpenter. She grew up loving architecture, subscribed to design magazines, and taught herself. Building was her way of dealing with grief, like therapy, but with hammers. That famous séance room? Actually her gardener's bedroom. Those midnight bells summoning spirits? Sarah had insomnia and played her pump organ. Neighbors heard music and imagined ghosts. Sarah was surprisingly modern. 3 elevators, including an Otis electric model. Indoor plumbing with hot water in 14 bathrooms when most used outhouses. Push-button gas lights everywhere. Sophisticated intercom system. She lived in the future while building the past. April 18, 1906, 5:12 in the morning. Sarah sleeps in the Daisy bedroom when the great San Francisco earthquake hits. Magnitude 7.8, 16 times more powerful than the 1868 quake. A monster. The mansion shakes violently. Windows shatter, walls crack. The top 3 floors of the 7-story house collapse. Sarah gets trapped when the door frame pinches shut. She is stuck for hours until a servant pries it open with a crowbar. Imagine being trapped in a collapsing mansion. The earthquake destroyed years of work. Top 3 floors? Gone. Fancy grand ballroom with gold chandeliers? Wrecked. North wing? Demolished. Devastating. But Sarah never fully repaired it. She sealed off 30 rooms and entire sections. Stopped living in the front wing. Those famous stairs to nowhere and doors to walls? Many are earthquake damage Sarah covered up instead of fixing. That staircase ending at the ceiling? The landing fell away. That door opening to a wall? Used to lead somewhere. The house survived because Sarah accidentally built it with a floating foundation. The structure moves instead of cracking. Earthquake-proof by accident. Pretty impressive for no formal training. After 1906, construction continued, but never went higher than 4 stories. Maybe she feared another collapse. Eccentric, but not stupid. Let me tell you about the weirdest things in this house. 160 rooms, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 47 fireplaces, and 40 staircases. But numbers are just the start. The windows. Sarah had 10,000 installed, many with spiderweb stained glass. For years, guides said Tiffany made them. Wrong. In 2019, workers found an envelope in a wall from Pacific American Decorative Company, run by glass artist John Mallon. Mystery solved. Sarah bought one expensive window for $1,500, like $52,000 today. designed to cast rainbows across a room. Except she installed it on an interior wall with zero natural light. The rainbow never happened. Oops. 2,000 doors, all with custom hardware. Some open to brick walls, others open to 8-foot drops into the kitchen sink. One drops 15 feet into garden bushes. Hope you were not using that exit. The stairs are crazy. Sarah was 4 foot 10 inches with arthritis, explaining the shallow steps, but not the staircase with 44 steps rising only 9 feet, or stairs ending at ceilings, or stairs going up 7, then down 11, leaving you lower than where you started. Windows and floors, windows overlooking other rooms instead of outdoors, secret passages 2 feet wide, cupboards that are doorways to hidden wings, a bell tower connected to 47 rooms through intercoms, and the number 13, 13 bathrooms, only one worked, windows with 13 panes, ceilings with 13 panels, staircases with 13 steps. The 13th bathroom has 13 windows. Sarah wrote her will in 13 sections, signed 13 times with different colored ink. Nobody knows why. You would think after opening in 1923, people found everything. Wrong. This place keeps revealing secrets. In 2016, workers discovered a hidden room sealed since the 1906 earthquake. Nobody inside for 110 years. When opened, they found a time capsule, a pump organ, a Victorian couch, dress form, sewing machine, paintings, and clothes. Everything perfectly preserved. This brings the total to 161 rooms, though the exact number is debated because of hidden spaces. The mansion is a puzzle box with new compartments. When Sarah died on September 5, 1922, she passed peacefully at 83. Construction that lasted 38 years finally went silent. Her will left furniture to niece Marion Marriott, but never mentioned the house. After weeks of inventory, Marion took everything valuable and left. The house was worthless. Cost Sarah $5.5 million to build, valued at only $5,000 after death, or $135,000 at auction. Either way, massive loss. Earthquake damage, weird design, unfinished chunks. Nobody wanted it. John and Mamie Brown bought it, opened for tours 6 months later. Smart business. They marketed ghost stories hard. That number 13 stuff, some added after Sarah died to boost spookiness. But here is something creepy. Footsteps in Sarah's bedroom when nobody is there. Doorknobs turning alone. Cupboards opening themselves. A rocking chair that rocks in the locked sewing room. The organ playing, though it does not work. People report chills, dizziness, vision loss, hearing whispered names. Real ghosts or suggestion in a creepy house. Who knows? What we know is Sarah built something unique, a mansion breaking every rule, a mystery people are solving 100 years later. Time to separate fact from fiction. The Winchester Mystery House has more myths than reality. The biggest lie? Sarah built this maze to confuse vengeful rifle victim spirits. Great story, zero evidence. Here is truth. Sarah never kept a journal explaining choices. No interviews. Intensely private. After death, new owners realized ghost stories sell tickets better than history. They cranked up supernatural angles and kept them there for a century. That Boston medium storytelling Sarah to build forever or die. Probably made up by relatives later. No contemporary evidence. Sarah moved for health. Her doctor recommended warmer climate for arthritis. She had happy memories of San Francisco visits. Moving west was practical for a grieving widow with health issues. Constant construction? Sarah paused multiple times, especially after the 1906 earthquake. She even moved to another house during repairs. The 24/7 building is exaggerated. Séance room? Gardener's bedroom? Midnight bells summoning ghosts? Fire alarm and worker call system? Ghostly music? Sarah playing organ during insomnia? Real tragedy? Sarah was amazing, managed her fortune wisely, paid workers extremely well, employed locals including immigrants from Europe, China, and Japan, donated to charities, built a hospital in her husband's name, sharp as a tack into old age. Niece Marion described her as intelligent, kind, definitely not crazy. But legend turned her into a guilt-ridden, superstitious woman driven mad. Tourist attractions need tragic haunted figures, not savvy businesswomen with weird architectural hobbies. Modern historians prove Sarah was methodical, rational, creative, running a decades-long art project, experimenting with Victorian design. Strange does not equal supernatural. It equals experimental architecture by an amateur with unlimited resources. Sarah built exactly what she wanted. Public opinion be damned. That takes guts. Today, the Winchester Mystery House is a California historical landmark on the National Register. San Jose's #1 tourist attraction. Over 12 million visitors since 1923. The property shrunk from 162 acres to 4.5. But the mansion remains imposing and weird. You can tour 110 of 160 rooms, plenty to get lost. Different tour shares. Now, standard mansion tour hits main areas. Behind the scenes explores unfinished sections Sarah abandoned. Flashlight tours on Friday the 13th and Halloween for maximum spookiness. You can rent it for events. Interesting wedding venue. The house inspires pop culture. Disney's Haunted Mansion ride was partially inspired by it. Stephen King based Rose Red on Sarah's story. The 2018 movie Winchester with Helen Mirren went full supernatural horror. Countless paranormal shows filmed there hunting ghosts. But the most interesting legacy is what it represents. A monument to grief, creativity, obsession, and independence. Sarah lost everything that mattered, then spent 38 years building something only she understood. She did not care what neighbors thought, did not care about resale, did not care about architectural norms. Sarah was the ultimate artist, a vision nobody understood, spending decades and millions bringing it to life. Impractical, confusing, full of failures, but unique, ambitious, and impossible to forget. So next time someone says Winchester Mystery House trapped ghosts, share the real story. A brilliant grieving woman who turned pain into the strangest architecture in America. No spirits required, just one widow with too much money, too much time, and an obsession that could not stop until death. Construction silent for over a century. But the mystery, still under construction. Always will be. Image generations.